Abundance Wala, and you're watching Abundance Show. And let's see who's with us today. And this is Ken. Where is he from? Who is and what has made Ken? He'll let us know his whole journey, his life story, his experiences, and he is the one who is finding Ikigai for you. Let's see. Hey Ken, how are you, man? And who are you?
Great to meet you so far. What an opening. You asked me like 2 million questions in in 10 seconds. Who is Ken?
Yeah,
This is gonna be this is gonna be a fun one. I'm really happy to be on the show today.
thank you.
So you want to know who Ken is?
Yeah, I would love to. I want
Okay.
Ken, 10
It's
years,
interesting.
20 years Ken, 25 years Ken, and Ken now.
It's interesting because it's an answer that keeps changing and it keeps changing a lot. I usually say that I have reinvented myself 5 times,
Ooh,
but the number is probably much larger than that. One of my goals is to live 10 lifetimes in one lifetime, and I'm maybe halfway.
wow.
So let's see. Who is Ken? I was born in Norway to an American mom and probably raised more American than Norwegian. I have had many different jobs growing up, mostly in technology, but I keep changing. I keep quitting everything, and I call it micro retirements. And I take these micro retirements and then I go and reinvent myself. So I've been in tech, I've been in large corporates, I've been a consultant, I've been in startups, I've invested in startups, I ran accelerator programs for startups. I been at Google for a couple of years. I was responsible for Google's relationship with Spotify. So I got to see two very, very cool cultures. I love both companies. And I reinvented myself to become a sales guy. I've led sales teams. Um, and I'm not that excited about sales. So I reinvented myself again. And I was like, it was COVID. And I wanted to understand this whole remote work thing. What does it mean to work remote? How are you a great remote worker? But also, how can I enable other people and organizations to figure out this remote thing? So I became head of remote, head of HR at a startup out of Barcelona. And about a year ago, again, I quit everything and reinvented myself again. So I bought a camper van. I traveled around Europe. I flew to Southeast Asia and backpacked, trying to figure out who am I behind all the masks, behind all the identities, who is really Ken. So I went really deep this time and I took off everything. And what I realized is that I am a teacher or a guide. I've always been a teacher or a guide, even though I didn't know it in the past. But if you look through all of my different jobs and careers, there's always been this element of helping other people grow. And I love that. And when I get to do that, I'm on fire. So, with that realization, about 3 or 4 months ago, I was like, okay, how do I take a teacher and a guide and apply it to the world? What opportunities are out there for a teacher and a guide? And I didn't know. So I did what I've done before. I started a process called 50 lunches. And I've done this 4 times before. Whenever I reinvent myself or need to figure out what to do next time I grow up, I start this process. And 50 lunches is 50 meaningful, inspiring conversations with people like you so far, where I ask them about their story, about what makes them tick, how they see the world, how they navigated their career. And I get inspired by what they say. And then I flip it upside down and I'm like, okay, I love your story. And I want to tell you a little about me. And I share who I am. I share my Ikigai. We can talk more about Ikigai later if you want.
Sure,
Um,
yes.
but it's basically a tool to talk about what you love, what you're good at, what you're passionate about. So I share this to my
And
speaking
what
partner.
worlds can pay you for?
And what you can get paid for. I specifically skipped that one. But the three first ones, I share those. Like, say, this is me. And then I ask this person, okay, now that you know who I am, let's brainstorm using your perspectives. What should I do when I grow up? What should I focus on? What opportunities are out there? And how can I navigate that? What should I learn? Who else should I be talking to? And I go out and I have 50 of these conversations, right? And then very quickly you start seeing patterns. You start seeing that attracts me, that idea. Ooh, that's exciting. Or that's not. Like, okay, I don't need to look at that. But you find these things that attract you. And I'm having these conversations. And this time I decided to do it as a podcast. So you can check out 50lunches.com, and where I recorded these, right? And in only 5 conversations, the 5 first conversations I had, 4 people said, Ken, you should be a coach. Like what you're doing for yourself, the way you're reinventing your own life, having gone from corporate to startups, through sales, through HR, like you have a process and a technique that you can use. So use it and help other people with the same thing. So who am I now? Like in this version of Ken, I'm a reinvention coach. I help people, professionals who've had a successful career, who got to the point where like, is this really it? Is this meaningful? I thought life was going to have more. And I help them rediscover their purpose, help them find meaning, and turn that into a life and a job. How's that for an intro?
Yeah, that's really really amazing. Okay, so everyone is stuck generally at certain point of time. Like
Yes.
I mean, your expertise when I see and read on your LinkedIn, it says helping mid-career professionals figure out what they actually want. My goodness, this blew my mind. So I would, honestly, generally, I was talking to the young champ of the 20 years, and in Hungary, she's an engineer, and I said I was just you always talk before you go for podcast. There's like ice breaking sessions. So I took she said she don't want to be on the podcast. I said okay, not a problem, it's okay. But since I love conversing, like your 50 lunches, so my like 300 lunches. I mean, I love people there. That the lunch mean that the spiritual lunch, that the
Yes.
spirit grows, and you take lots of radiation from the people you're having lunch with, like spiritual lunch, and your whole inner, it's enlightens, and it, like, I mean, the curiosity gets to the next orbit level, to higher energy orbit level, and we are limited by our curiosity. No, it's clarity. I mean, that 20-year-old kid has such an amazing clarity that I 48 don't have. So that's, I mean, I would love to ask my first question, man, what are you doing? What is this mantra? Please, give us something, give us some magic wand. I mean, what's this?
What do you mean? Like, what am I doing? What is this mantra? Just so I answer your question right.
Helping mid-career professionals figure out what they actually want. I mean, this is,
Okay.
yeah, that's the question, in fact.
So you're asking how to do that, yeah?
Yeah. How do you do
Okay. I wish I could give you like a magic bullet and say this is how you do it. It's usually requires a lot of thinking and a lot of reflection.
to?
So when I did it, I can share my story, and then I can share kind of how I help other people I work with. But when I did it, I bought a camper van and drove around Europe for 6 months with my guitars. You can see the guitars in the background, with my journal here, right? And I spent a lot of time thinking and philosophizing. I came just from a pretty stressful job in a startup environment. And it took me quite a lot of time just to take off that suit, take off that identity. So I think the first thing you have to do is realize that there is a pain, that there is something that needs changing. Because very often we don't know. Maybe we feel lost, right? Maybe we feel flat, but we don't know what's wrong. And as successful people, we often don't allow ourselves to accept that something's wrong, because we made it here. Like we've been successful, and now why should we be complaining? Like I had my dream job at Google, and still I felt unfulfilled, right? So the easy way would be to like, no, it's my dream job, I should just continue. But the first step is really figuring out that no, this isn't what I'm truly meant for. Okay, so now that you've gotten to awareness that something has to change, then the question becomes, okay, how do we change? That's the work, right? So there's a lot of different techniques, there's a lot of different philosophies, and you're just gonna have to try them all until you figure out what works for you. One of my favorite ones is Ikigai, which we've spoken about, right? It's an exercise where you brainstorm around what are your passions, the things that you really love, right? What are the first things you Google in the morning when you get on your phone? All right, for me, that's tech. I've always loved technology, but I also love people and I love personal development. So I read a lot about all of those topics, right? Those are things I love. And then you start looking at, okay, what are your skills, hard skills, soft skills, things I have always known, like from I was a kid. And this one's hard because sometimes we don't see our own skills. So the best tip I have here is like email 10 of your best friends, 10 of your colleagues, and ask them, hey, what do you see to be my superpowers? Right? And you're going to be amazed by the answers you get. Like it's a really touching exercise. You're just showered with love and compliments. But you also start seeing patterns. Like when 10 people tell you something, they're not all going to say the same, but a lot of them are going to say, well, Ken, you're really good at looking outside of the box. I wouldn't even consider that a skill, right? Other people say, Ken, you're great at facilitation. Yeah, that's true. I really enjoy facilitating, right? Cool, right? My own ego was going to say, Ken, you're great at strategy and analysis. True, I've learned those skills, but they're not natural to me. Right. So what you're trying to figure out is like, what are some of those natural abilities? And I have a different exercise for that. I'll get to that. Okay. And then the other side of the Ikigai is what the world needs. And to me, that question is too big. Like the world needs too many things. And who am I to fix all of those things, right? We need world peace. We need to stop hunger and suffering, right? I can't do that. I'm just me. So I like to reformulate that question to what causes do I want to contribute towards? So what are the causes that I care so much about that I want to do something about them? Okay, so that's interesting. For me, I really want people to find purpose and happiness. I want myself to find purpose and happiness, right? But I want to share that gift with the rest of the world. And if I can help one person find purpose and happiness, that's worth it. If I can scale it to 10 or 100, now we're talking, right? If we can get to 1,000 or 100,000, that's real impact. Okay, so you start like populating all these circles. And intentionally, like you mentioned the last one, what can I get paid for? I tend to wait with that one. Because for me, that's just the result of all of the other ones. So I told you I love personal development. And people are saying I'm great at facilitation. And I want people to discover purpose and happiness. How can you do that? You can write a book, right? Maybe that's not facilitation. You can lead a workshop. That would work. You could be a coach. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. And when you start putting the dots together, now you can populate that fourth bubble circle at the bottom, like what you can get paid for. Okay, so I put all of those, coach and workshop. And now you look at all of them together, and in the middle, that is who you should be. That is what you should do. That is your Ikigai, your reason to be, right? And for me, right now, at this phase in my life, that is coach. They'll connect, right? But these things are going to change. My passions are going to change. My skills are going to change. The world is going to change. The market is going to change. So even though this is right today, doesn't mean it's going to be right tomorrow. So I like to think of Ikigai more as a compass. And every year I try to reset that compass. I do the exercise again around New Year's and see what has changed. And am I still where I should be? Okay, so that's Ikigai. And I promise I'd give you another exercise as well. This is something I discovered in the camper van when I was traveling.
Okay, if I can, for my audience, I
Sure.
want to just summarize Ikigai. Ikigai, like there are four circles. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, go ahead.
The first one is what I love. That's my passion, and the second circle is what is my profession, what I'm good at, and the
Yep.
third one is what worlds want, and the fourth one is the what world can pay you for, and the intersection. Oh wow, that's absolutely fantastic. Wow, so that's the ikigai. The sweet spot is ikigai. Okay, now know your camper van journey.
Okay, sure. So Ikigai is one exercise, and it's a great exercise. If you haven't done any other kind of personal development, self-discovery work, start with Ikigai. It's amazing. It will get you far. But I got to a point where I kept doing my Ikigai, and I felt like the incremental value was less. It didn't give me as much as it used to. There weren't those aha moments anymore. So I needed to go deeper. And that's why I went in the camper van. And I read a lot, and I came across this concept of Dharma. You know what Dharma is, Safar? Have you heard that before?
Uh, is it some Indian word, dharma?
It comes from Hindu and has late.
It's like, I mean, are you talking about the karma, or this is
It's similar to
K A
karma, but it's not the same as karma. It's Dharma, DH. So I'll
dharma?
explain.
So okay,
I'll,
okay. Probably I'm new to this because karma I have some little idea, but okay.
yeah, you can get karma points. You do something good, and something good comes back to you.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
repercussion. I mean, what
Dhar-
goes around, that comes around. Anything you're putting into the universe, is positive or negative. So it will multiply and come back to you. So
exactly.
the amount of energy you're putting into the universe, that's coming back to you. So
So
okay,
so
but
Dharma is a
dharma,
little
yeah,
Dharma is a little different.
back to dharma, yeah, yeah.
It comes from Hinduism, and it has been adopted by Buddhism as well. But the definition I like of Dharma is that we're all born into this world with a purpose, and everybody's looking for their purpose. And when everybody finds their purpose, then we can live together in happiness. But that's harder than it might seem. So we were born with a set of natural abilities, a set of skills that we were given at birth. And our purpose is to use those skills for something bigger than ourselves. And that was kind of my discovery, because I've always been thinking, "Yeah, what is my purpose?" And I tried to be very specific. But I've come down to this simple idea that my purpose is to use my natural abilities, the things I was born with that are uniquely me, for something better than myself, bigger than myself. Not for me and my ego, but how can I contribute to something? So it's similar to Ikigai, but it focuses more on what are those natural abilities? Like, what are those things that you were great at when you were a kid, before the expectations of society, before the expectations of your parents, before the expectations of your friend, before your ego got in the way, right? And that might be hard because we built all these new identities on top of that, and we've forgotten who we truly are. So the concept of Dharma really clicked with me. And that led me on this journey where I started to discover, well, who am I truly before everything else? So I wrote a lot. I thought a lot about my childhood, like what were the things I loved doing when I was a kid? And I read this survey by a author, Sahara Rose, and she talks about Dharma archetypes. It's basically a horoscope, right? Where you can read all of these different archetypes. And one of them just clicked. Like that's where I've discovered my guide slash teacher. Like I read about these archetypes. There's 13. And like one was like, I'm lying. She has 9. She has 9. But one of the 9 was guide. I'm like, yes, that's me. And from there, everything became clear. So what I've done afterwards is I've created a new quiz, a new framework. I call it the True Self archetypes. And it's on my website. You can share a link in the notes later if you want. But it's basically a quiz where you answer questions about how you were as a kid, what you loved to do, how your friends saw you. And it's a fun little quiz. It doesn't take a long time. But based on that, it discovers what archetype you are, 1 out of 13. And it gives you a primary and a secondary. And then with this archetypes, then you can start to try to figure out, okay, who am I really? And when you start looking at your life, the times you've been the happiest is when you live closest aligned with your archetype. So for example, you so far, right? You've had a career where you've had your ups and downs, you've had your dark moments, and then you have your bright moments. When are you the happiest?
Oh my goodness, this is really, really tough. When I'm with my friends and when I, execute my or religious obligations or the word obligation, when it
Hmm.
gets accomplishes, any of the accomplishment like any of the obligation I accomplish, I
Hmm.
become happier, be it religious, be it moral, social, or whatever. The
Okay.
obligation accomplishment gives me happiness and satisfaction, and I feel happy. And for sure, if you talk about like laughters and so on, when you're with friends, that's amazing. There's nobody judging you, and anywhere you're not being judged, you're happy.
Mm. Yeah.
Anywhere you're being judged, you can't be happy. I mean, be you the best, but if somebody's judging you, no, you can't be happy. So one is like when I'm like executing my all liabilities or the obligations that are due
Yep.
on me, so I feel at peace. So that's
Mm.
where I'm happy. And secondly, when I'm anywhere where there are no, I'm not being judged, and the rest is like when you're with friends and so. So that's, I mean, this could just ring me mind instantly, but I mean, there should be something much more than deeper. That's the purpose.
Mm.
The as I mean, as you were giving teaching us like with Matthew Benali, their energy like one is physical, spiritual, mental, and what was the fourth one? Emotional. Okay, so the impact or the alignment or the purpose is what it gets you happiness forever, the energy forever. So the since even a pen it was made for a purpose. If it is on purpose, we take care of this and we try. When it's finished, when it's broken, when it is known on its purpose, then it
Mm.
goes down to the dustbin right away. So the happiness is to me. If you ask me, the true happiness is like to obey the Creator and follow the purpose given to your life. If this pen has a purpose, which is just, I mean, it's one of the smallest example I can quote. I mean, look, you and me, we are vice captain to the captain. The captain is God, and we are his vice captain. And we been given the all characteristics that God has. Like, I mean, Peter de Mendes has just written a book, We Are As Gods. I mean, it is very difficult to explain if we go for religious context, but happiness is to be on purpose. As you, if you're on and aligned with your purpose, you'll be happier. If you go away from this, so this is where happiness start declining down. And if you go closer to your purpose, you're more, if this is about alignment. As
So,
you coach
so
us with alignment, Rajesh. That's all from my side for the moment.
I think we're
Till
I
we
think
meet
we're
next.
saying exactly the same thing, right? You're using a religious frame on it, but what I'm saying is that we are born with a set of natural abilities, like something that is uniquely us, and our purpose is to apply those natural abilities on the world, right? So you're talking about applying it, but what I'm trying to figure out for you so far is like, what are your natural abilities? What are the things that you are uniquely great at? Because when you figure that out, then you become so much more powerful. When you act on your natural abilities, you experience joy, pleasure, happiness. You learn faster. Other people see that you're authentic. So, for example, I always thought I was an entrepreneur. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? I wanted to see the hockey stick and make a lot of money and get status. I wanted to be the next Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, even though I'm not a fan of either of those today. But that wasn't me. That wasn't my true self. That was an identity that I had learned that I should have or taken on because it was cool, right? So even though I succeeded being an entrepreneur, I was never truly fulfilled. And it's only now that I found my true abilities, teacher guide, and I get to apply those on the world, I feel like I'm on fire. So that's the big shift for me. It's not just what I do, it's how I do it, or what skills I use, or characteristics, in your word, that I use to apply on my purpose.
Oh,
So let me ask you this so far. Let's go back to when you were 10 years old. What did you love doing?
oh my goodness. When I was, I mean, since I come from a family, like we are builders family, and I used to build small, small rooms for my chickens, and I love growing chickens, and I was a chicken entrepreneur even in my grade. Say, if four, I started it from the grade 3, 4, and 5th, and 6th until 7. It grew it, and I loved growing. These chickens, and I was a huge big entrepreneur to my age and to my level by that time, and I was a rich guy, young rich guy, small. So I love to grow chickens and what you call these poultry stuff, and but I love gardening too, and building small little rooms for my chicks and chickens, and
Okay.
so
Do,
that's
do you
that's
like
what I
be,
love.
do you like
Yeah,
be, do you like being hands-on building things?
yeah, hands on. Like since I was small, and but I enjoyed this, and I was out of space and time when I was doing all this.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing was like I was used to read a lot, and I read it was Urdu literature, like novels and lots of novels. I mean, I read, I used to read, and like I mean lots. I mean, that's why I got a little skinny, and so that this is what I can share a bit from my past. And I
How
was
did
not
your
a
friends
child.
see you?
How?
How did your friends see you?
I mean, I'm scared of my friends, frankly, just because I have had no friends till the age of 11 and a half. And when I was actually in my village, there were no friends. I mean, I used to go to school, just keep studying, go back to my home. I used to lock in myself in a room, and I kept studying, and whatever I was doing, it was all indoor. I was not a kind of outdoor. But I mean, I happened to go to a military college. It was Pakistan Air Force College, and that's where I opened up to, and I was exposed to different cultures, different people coming from not only Pan Pakistan but across the world, the overseas Pakistanis, wherever they were. So there, I mean, I said, oh my goodness, it, I got an inferior complex there. I was
Okay.
into, and I was judged, and there were smart kids from the urban areas, and it's kind of I did not go through bullying physically or directly, but I kept silence, not to speak, just because whenever somebody was saying something, so he was getting bullied from the smart people in the room. So that's where I mean I got blocked my mind, and till then, and now since I'm getting already older, like I'm 48 now, so things are opening up now, and I've started accepting that I was wrong, and there was nothing wrong with them. It was me, and I've been talking to lots of people like yourself, so that now I'm decoding what was wrong at that point of time. But I mean, I'm scared of my friends. Really,
Because
really.
earlier you said that
Yeah,
connection was important to you, doing things with your friends.
yeah. There are quite few. I mean, like,
Hmm.
I can like on one hand I can count. They are very dear and near to me. They are always they are not judgmental. I mean, those are my best of the best friends, and they are like maybe 4 or 5. You can't go to the next hand. It's like one, maybe 5. So that's where I really feel frank and candid. Although all others, like we were like batch of 100 people, 100 students all over the world, from especially from Pakistan, and They all fantastic people. Later, I just discovered when I saw them after college, now they've got into higher ranks and they're doing amazing. When I see them now, I feel ashamed of my thinking that I was putting blame on them. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to me, but I'm blaming them now, and I used to blame them in the past, and I feel ashamed of it. Now I said, no, it was all my mistake. No, no, I'm reconstructing my life, like reaching out to you, to Matthew Benelli, or there are a lot of mentor there. I mean, I'm talking to the people. I'm learning a lot, and that's where I was wrong. I mean, the happiness, no. If,
Hmm.
as long as friends are concerned, no. Now I feel happy when I see them. I really enjoy rejoicing. But I mean, if you want to connect the dot and you want to take me to the past and you want to to do some engineering there, so that I mean, if there is something stuck, well, yes, it is stuck. Is what I was wrong.
Hmm.
I have decoded over the period of time that I was wrong. Nobody's made mistake. I could have done much better just because it was scarcity thinking, scarce thinking.
Hmm.
Yeah. My mind was wired that way. I was coming from a village. Nobody said anything to me, honestly. Trust me. And but I mean, I kept thinking wrong way. It was me. I couldn't conquer my inner mountain. So, but I kept blaming others. So I went down in a lot of performances, in a lot of things. I could have done much better if my mind was wired correctly. Back to you.
Hmm. But now you've started. How long is your podcast been going? You said 300 episodes.
Yeah, it's been June, March, and 15 months now.
15
14
months.
fair, yeah, I mean I'm learning. They're
Hmm.
like 300 350 like around 300 podcasts, more than 300. And I believe when I get to 1000 podcasts, 1001 will be my podcast. And this is all learning. I'm learning. And I mean, apologies for the wrongdoings, but I'm learning.
So tell me, why did you start the podcast?
Here you go. I mean, I know you want to dig something up. My best friend was my father. My best friend was my father, and when I went to that cadet college, a boarding college, a military college, and he was the one I was missing him most. For surely my mother, everybody mothers is a he. I mean, you miss it, but I was missing him. So then I kept seeing my teachers, elderly people there in my staff, and so on. And when my father passed away, then I used to see his friends. And so when I go to universities and into cities, I used to see elderly sick. I mean, I used to find old people. I mean, there was a commissioner retired in Islamabad. I was in capital city and I was studying. Whenever I had some slot available, I used to get connected with older people. I used to walk with them. I used to find any available time slot, and I used to get, and I used to know when they are free, when they are walking. So I just align my old routines with them, and I love beautiful conversations.
Hmm.
I love to connect with new people. You are new to me, I'm new to you. You are an entire new a world that I don't know anything about. So if I'm talking to you for an hour and so you will be giving me entire your experiences. This is, I mean, I find it more useful than reading a book, watching a movie, or doing anything. The interaction are so powerful. In 16 months, I learned, I mean, exponentially, and there is no match that I have learned in last like 47 or 46 years in my life. I mean, there's no match, and the people I am seeing are amazing. The opportunities I am getting, these are matchless. I mean, if you ask questions about that, I'll reply a lot. What are the opportunities? Talking to the new people. I mean, like rubbing shoulder. So I am an insane networker. I love new people, connect them, and I really, really enjoy it. and I would want do this on taking the last breath of my life. I mean,
Okay.
this is my ikigai. I don't know if you can get paid for this or no. I don't know. And but I am so motivational driven into this. I really don't care if somebody is listening or not. Somebody's, but I mean, I'm enjoying you as a personality, as God's gift. That such a great creature He has created, and then we are talking to you. And look at them. I mean, I really want. I'm telling everyone. I was last Saturday. We in Silicon Valley. There are more than 350 people. We are a group there in Silicon Valley, USA, and we were taught about use of AI. And there are people, and I was quoting you then and there that okay, get research work, all this, and but I mean, my friend, he asked me, don't write any letter to through AI or no messages, man. Just research, save your work. I mean, save your energies. But do write on your own paper or so stuff. So they were so happy. I mean, that's what is learning coming from. So what inspire what gives me happiness is talking to the people.
Mm.
And this is, I mean, I really cannot express the happiness. There is no degree there is no yardstick that can measure the happy amount of happiness. See new people, because you're not judging. Even when you judge, you don't, you know. And as you were teaching me how to send a message, there was another lady, and she never accepted my podcast request, but she taught me how to talk to people. Oh my goodness.
Mm.
And that was exactly your case. As you said, be personalized. You get respect them, research them. Researching someone is respecting someone. And research, and as I mean, you got me like for teals and oranges. I mean, I didn't know anything. I was so ashamed. I was so now. So that's the learning. That's the learning. So my from my point of view, what I enjoy is networking.
Mm.
I love networking, and
Okay, so
I do not do it for any financial reasons, but because I love it. I mean, I enjoy it. Back to you.
I've been taking notes, right? I'm trying to figure out what your true abilities are through the stories that you share and what turns you on, right? What makes you tick. And what I'm hearing is three things. One of the archetype is builder, and you actually use that word, like you like to build things with your hands, right? That makes a lot of sense. And you did that as a kid, you probably still want to do that as an adult. The second thing you said is that you read a lot. And you read, and now you also do the podcast as a way of learning. There's another archetype called the researcher, and the researcher is hungry for knowledge. They want to find all of this gold and mine that gold so that they can use that gold, right? So researcher is another hypothesis. And then the third one that you keep coming back to is connector. And that's really how I've seen you also before this podcast, this recording, right?
Really.
Because I met you a couple of times, and immediately you were like connecting dots and connecting people and reaching out and writing and calling. That comes very natural to you.
Yeah, in Matthew Benelli's course, huh?
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't. I mean, there are certain things you can't resist doing. So I can't hold myself back. I mean, I I go viral. I don't know how to say. I mean, there are some certain decorums one has to maintain. I can't. I mean, honestly, reaching out people, I become uncivilized or barbaric or something. I just want to see people. I mean, but at times they I mean, why he's man is after us and what's wrong with him? But that's what I like.
Yeah. And now like you've built a podcast, right? This is something you're doing hands-on, right? And in that podcast, you are researching and talking to people and you're connecting people. So you're taking all three of your natural abilities, your true abilities, and you've created this podcast for you and for others. So that is you living your true self. And that explains why you enjoy it so much.
Oh yes. I mean, it's only I'm recording it so that other people can benefit out of it. Else, I mean, it's right now. I'm indifferent between recording or going live on LinkedIn or YouTube or other platforms. To me, it's just not for fame or somebody watch this or say, "Oh man, you're no." It's here. My heart,
Mm.
resonates with. So, but I mean, one more thing. I mean, I like, as you said. I mean, it's like a builder, a reader, or researcher, and the connector. I'm okay with first and last, but the reader, a researcher, and I used to read novels at that point of time. But when I go to schooling or when I was forced to get grades, and so it limited my curiosity.
Mm.
When you're in school limit your curiosity. You are not allowed to read books that you like to read. You can't follow your passion,
Mm.
but they tell you what your profession is, and what you got to read, what not to read, and why are you reading this. And I mean, so the so that's where, I mean, your old north south pole, or the limitless sky of curiosity, or the like infinite curiosity. It just gets to between your two ears and then to the amygdala. you know our schooling or all education systems or everything is all pivoting around amygdala. And amygdala in our brain is almond big, a small thing in our head, and it attracts negative things. It is always, I mean, we are glued to TV screens just because there are negativities. And if whenever there is all good, everything is happening, you get this impression. No, no, no. Anything going wrong, what's going on? So that limiting your curiosity through system, through the society, people talking negative about you. So that's where I had to. I mean, I got away from reading and researching and so. But again, since I
Yeah.
love people, since I am a networker, I am a connector. That's why I love to talk about them, read about them, and I want to know them. I mean, I love the stories. You
Mm.
know, everyone is a story. It's unique and so powerful. Stories is such a. I mean, I wish I could do anything in education system. If someone, the books don't inspire you.
Mm.
Books, but the writer, but the
Ah,
people.
interesting. Mm.
Book don't inspire you, but the writer. So what we are all after the books and syllabus and covering stuff and so I.
Ooh, that's interesting so far. Okay, we're gonna go back to the AI discussion we just had. So I'm gonna share a little more context.
I'm
'Cause-
sorry. I'm sorry to eat, like eating your time. Please.
no, 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 no.
I hope
This is
you.
fun. This is fun
Yeah.
because you said books don't inspire you; the writers do,
Yeah.
right? So the thing that you referenced earlier, when you invited me to this show, you sent me like a long AI written message where you had researched me, right?
you
And
know.
everything was right. Like your
You
your,
know.
your bot had read
You
my
know.
webpage.
Let me open. I mean, this is gonna get me lots of sweating.
We're gonna grill you now. We're gonna grill you.
You're grilling me. I mean, let me find some tissue paper.
Only with love, only with
Oh,
love, because you said one thing, right? So you said that books don't inspire you, the writer does. But what you did is you had your AI send me a book, and you said nothing about the writer, right? So it was the furthest away it could be from inspiring. It read like something AI had written. It was all correct, but there was no soul. Like I didn't see Safar. I didn't see you. I didn't see the writer. So I didn't get inspired, right? And I'd much rather have you write something in your own words with your own thoughts and ideas. Say, hey, Ken, I saw your page. I like this and this, right? Instead of AI saying, blah, 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 blah. Like, I know what's on my webpage. You don't have to summarize it for me, right? But what I missed was that inspiration from the writer.
Got you. Got you. Got you. And I have been doing this nonsense for quite long time. I'm using AI the day it was born. Honestly, yeah, from the
I mean, me
first day.
too, yeah.
Yeah, from the first day. Yeah, and since I mean my curiosity has had been limited to amygdala. I mean, I was. It's like, and now I'm opening up for like it could be like 2 months, maybe 3 months now, that I am accepting the realities. Earlier, I was in denial phase. Now I am trying to decode and crack the codes where I am, back in some as you wanted to go back in my history, in my past, and find me where I'm stuck. So I just cracked the code that let accepting reality is another way of living happier life. So what I do now, out of my instinct of connection, and I wanted, as you said, I mean, you were the one who convinced me quality over quantity.
Yes.
Okay, and earlier I was just blindly giving a connection request to every person on LinkedIn, whosoever come in front of me. Okay, anybody, somehow directly or indirectly, like abundance or something. There are 100 pages over everybody, but I got the point. Why? I mean, this is not that actually. Although, like, there are 4,500 and copy more people on LinkedIn. I'm getting. I mean, I'm doing well, but this is just a number. Out of 4,500 people, I could podcast only with more than 300 people, which is, I mean, there is no proportion, even like four and a half thousand people, and only 300 people could come to my podcast. I mean, there could be people who came more than once. So yeah, I mean, I really believe that quality must be preferred over quantity, and you made me believe so. And yes, I'm mindful, but again, still, when it comes pen and pen, really, I mean, my mind starts. It it's very difficult to create something creative, to
Mm.
do something. Although, I mean, again, I'm again copying. There is something. If I'm researching you, there is some through using AI. I got the point. I'm copying, and I
Mm.
mean, I can't talk. I mean, I can't write sense. I don't know. So again, I go back to. I mean, this is what I need to crack it. I need to. I really request you to take me out of it. I mean,
And
I'm stuck.
it's
I'm stuck
hard,
there.
right?
It's
I've done
really,
the
really,
same.
it's
I think
really.
I've I
I
think I've
admit.
gone through the same excitement curve when it comes to AI. Because like it was first launched with ChatGPT and everybody started playing with the LLMs, and then Claude launched, right? And about a year ago, I started using Claude to write a book. And I was so excited because I could get Claude to write the book for me. So I would give
So
ideas, talk about the the chapter structure, I would share my stories, and I would teach it my voice guide, and it would write these chapters for me. And I read it and like I was so amazed because it sounded so good. But this is before everybody started writing with AI, right? And now everybody writes with AI. If I were to go back and read those chapters today, I swear they would probably all sound like they were written by a robot, right? At that time, I didn't notice it. But today, like you start seeing it everywhere. So I've gone through that cycle. And now that I write myself on LinkedIn or my personal messages in WhatsApp or wherever, I often ask AI for help in structuring it, doing a first draft, right? Because I still wanted to go out and do all that research. And that's important. But I never let it write my final draft. So I'll go through it in a word editor, right? And change it so it sounds like me. It's like that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. And I'll add my own point of view, my own words, and probably the quality is lower after I put my hands on it, but it's a lot more authentic. And that's what humans react to.
I want to add one more thing here. I would just wanted to fetch the message, and I want to endorse and what your research or what you're presenting right now is, how X price people are busy. Since you're being part of the Google, Peter Diamandis and Ray Kurzweil and people of X Prize and Singularity University, Peter Diamandis and all these. And how about the staff would be even more busier? I love Peter Diamandis. I abundance show. I borrow the vision from him, and I manifest the abundance of health, wealth, and happiness for the 8 billion people every day. I do, and I believe once it will be materialized one day. So, how busy she could be. I written her the very long message, and I was introduced to her. She's the chief coordinator for Peter Diamandis, and she's the one who takes the decision to take people on board as a member of X Prize, a member of Abundance 360. That costs $15,000 a year, and that's perpetual. One has to pay every year, and she's the decision maker who's got to come in or not. So I applied for the scholarship. It's because they take only 8 people from around the globe as their scholar who can attend the Abundance 360 Summit virtually. They can't be there physically, but they can do that virtually. Only 8 people out of 8 billion people. So she wrote me. I'm trying to find the message. During this program I'll get you back. She wrote it with her hand, and I could see the level of language, and so it is written. It was boom. I was, my goodness. She swamped till 2027 January. She has no time, but she is writing me. She's taking out time. She's giving me respect, and she's writing with her, like, out of her own brain and heart. She could have only, hey Siri, write her that I'm not available or I'm available, so whatever. So it was like in seconds, but it could have taken her 2 to 3 minutes. And I was, I am still in such a happiness instance that she took time. She's one of the busiest person on the face of earth, and she took time, and this is so amazing. This is so powerful. I love her. I would do anything for only this thing. This is so powerful, and that makes your thesis, stand.
Exactly. With that knowledge, with that feeling in your body right now as you talk about it, like, why would you ever use AI to write a message to anyone? You're taking away their opportunity to feel that.
Oh my goodness. Here comes the real bottleneck. Oh my goodness. You I don't know, you're a genie. You convince people out of their own. Oh my goodness. I never think that way. Although I was telling you all this, and I really, with this, my friend, he's retired from Pakistan Air Force, and he writes me letter. He writes me letter. My goodness.
Yeah.
So how valuable that
like
is.
I'm pushing intentionally, right? Because there's always this balance around efficiency and authenticity, right? AI makes us a lot more efficient. We can do a lot more things, and that is good, but it's also bad. So the key is to figure out when to use it and for what, to keep us efficient without taking away our humanity. And that's my challenge to you. Just be human, like you are now on the show, like talking like we are. Like, that's who I want you to be on What's Up as well.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, really, you convinced me. I'll to do anything possible, and I'll be creating. This is what convinces me, frankly, and I'm trying to climb my inner mountain. I suppose, and you're pushing me so hard, and yes, you're putting. I mean, there's no reason. I mean, I can put some claim, some lame excuse, and say, no, man, no, there is none. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm
of
sorry
course
you
we
won.
can make
I'm sorry
of
you
course
won.
we can make up excuses. No, it will take longer time. It will, right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
means you'll be writing less messages. But that's the quality over quantity again.
Very true. Wow. Honestly, and there was another fellow. She was there in US, and I asked him, can I ask you for a podcast? She said, what? I mean, can I ask you for a podcast online, please? She said, no. If you are not respecting me, oh man, I mean, I never disrespect you. No, no. She said, respecting me means going to my profile, researching it, reading it, and you must know who are you talking to, and then go and they should be connecting as you are connecting,
Yeah.
builder, researcher, reader, and connector. And this is, I mean, these are very personalized. These are totally personalized, and this is what she taught me. And now you are giving me like grilling me, and you're giving me, you're ragging me, ragging me, and you're teaching. This is so amazing, and this is what my real love is about, connecting. There have been a lot of people on my show. You would find 300, more than 300 people is quite a big figure, isn't it? I mean, you are the one who's right live here, face to face, and you're grilling me and teaching me and telling me, and you're so honest. And I was so I was like I was deceiving even myself, writing through AI and so. But I mean, I was giving lame excuse. Oh man, I can't. I'm there. I have to reach out a lot many people. So you broke that, the block. Then come on, man, reaching lot many people is not the point. The point is, the lesser people, but the quality people. So, oh my goodness, you won and I lose.
No, there's no winning and losing, right? You're learning.
Yeah, I'm learning. Yeah, yeah, and this is really amazing. Back to you.
There was one more point I wanted to make. Sorry.
Bless.
One more point on connection, because you're a great connector, and like when we're talking to each other, you come across as so authentic and vulnerable, right?
Really?
You dare to share your struggles and what you find to be hard, and you dare to admit when you're not right. Vulnerability is one of those things that builds connection and trust more than anything else. So I have a friend who has a saying. He says that he uses vulnerability as a sledgehammer, right? Because it's so powerful. And that's what you're doing on this show, right? You're opening up, and you're just being you, and you're inviting other people to have a vulnerable conversation. And that's when you connect and build trust, and that's what people want to watch and connect with. So I think what you're doing here is amazing. I really want to applaud you for that.
I mean, I want to crack a story here, if you allow me. I mean, if you have a little time, if
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
not eating your time. I sent you a link. My interview with Shannon. In fact, Shannon was interviewing me, and literally, since out of my curiosity, I started asking questions. But she was supposed to interview me, but in the later. A lady from US, she watched the same show. I don't know how she got connected. So, and she spoke to me. She is CEO of Light Tech LLC. I mean, she comes from a family of gold diggers, and she's working. She has already built a system, an ecosystem which cleans the air one, which cleans the water, two, and which cools the glaciers, because this is all is happening. Climate change is happening just because there's pollution in the air, in the water, and this pollution is causing temperature rise, and temperature rise is causing these glaciers melting, and we need to reverse it. We need to stop this change. And she's made it already. She is a lady Elon Musk. Oh my goodness, she's so powerful. And she spoke to me and she asked me for the collaboration, the Global Abundance Organization and her Light Tech LLC collaborating to reach. I said, I'm so small. I mean, I come from a very small country. Nobody knows about this. I mean, what all you know is like there like could be about what you call, we call us terrorists. People call us terrorists. Some bomb blasts and some good things, some things that are going on. So we are kind of primitive mindset living in here. But she said no. Look at this. I mean, she said no. The vulnerability, as you said, the energy, the authenticity. I saw with you, Shannon, and then she connected with Shannon. Oh my goodness! And tonight, like we are having one as a session for 1 hour. Shannon and she's Francis. Her name is Francis, and me, Shannon, and Francis gonna have a meeting for sustainability. Yeah, Shannon gonna fund. She'll execute, and I am the collaborator. So I'll take the idea to my government, to the government in Southeast Asia, everybody, and I'll be voicing it on my Bandhan show. I'll be reaching out to sustainability people, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, where gonna we end up? But the amount of energy I'm feeling, I mean, I'm so excited. I've been reading all the day about her ventures, how she did do this all, and tonight, I mean, I have got like a dozen person right in my head, and there is on 7th of next month there is sustainability conference going on in Switzerland, and I am connecting these ladies, my friends there in Switzerland, Sweden, and the areas, nearby areas, so that they can get connected on sustainability. And here in Pakistan also, and in Eastern Africa, there are earth, a lot other. So this is just because of blessing of these connections. And I'm getting back to your authenticity and the vulnerability. Yes, earlier I used to deny this. Since I was in denial phase, and everything was yeah, like it was like as like, I mean, it was like this, and all. But I mean, it's opening up like something. So it's like this, and so, and things are opening up. Earlier, I was all close. I used to think anything, any one person saying anything positive about me, I thought probably he's joking, or probably he is, he's saying out of pity, or probably he wants to feel me better. That's what all denial. My inner self was not accepting that. Even maybe there could be, if you say 10 good things about me, could be like 4 things could be right, but maybe others I don't deserve, or maybe I need to improve that. But I was not accepting even single one. Now I'm in there, I'm trying to, and if there are others, I'm trying to improve. I mean, coming to you, I knew you're gonna grill me on. I mean, you're gonna grill me today, just because of the stupidity I've been doing. I was like insane things were doing, but again, those things got me 300, more than 300 interview people on my show, and I learned a lot. Back to you.
And that's how you grow, right? And I started with this, so we'll end with this as well. If you grow, now we talked about this before we started, so I want to come back to this, because
Yeah.
300 episodes, right? That's crazy. Let's do some simple math, right? If you improve 1% every day for a year, how much have you improved in a year?
Ooh. Oh my goodness! Since I didn't know the formula earlier, and going back to Matthew Benally's class, like there are four type of energies: physical,
Hmm.
mental, spiritual, and alignment energy. So once we our body is mindful of some things, that's why we do meditate or like yoga or we go worship and so. So we disconnect with ourselves so that we unlearn and then relearn. So that's I need to believe in this 1%. I know,
Yeah.
but accepting is another thing. Then knowing, I
Well,
know.
I think it's almost impossible to improve 1% every day. So it's a theoretical
Theoretical.
exercise. But if
So
you do,
I did improve. I did
Mhm.
improve. I mean, I'm talking to you. I had never been that brave for camera. I was not camera ready ever for that. But now it does not matter.
Mm,
Even I'm recording, even going live does not matter.
mm,
Somebody is like saying me anything does not matter. Even somebody is appreciating or otherwise or doing anything does not matter because I am not doing it for the people to judge. I am doing out of my love. I love connect people, and I really want those who are aligned. They could come to these podcasts and they can listen to Ken's the reading on and this benefit. Just because every podcast is a booklet, it's a book about Ken. Maybe my experiences too, and but generally, I mean, since it's an interactive session, maybe this is not an interview and so. So because in interview the interviewer is supposed to speak for 5% of the total time. I mean, here you're giving me chance and
this is
to
a
eat,
conversation.
to eat your time. I'm sorry. So yes, I improved quite a lot, but not that 1%.
Mm.
Not
But
that
let's do the
1%.
math. Let's do the math anyway. If you were to improve 1% every day for
Okay.
365 days in a row, so
Okay.
most humans struggle with exponential thinking, right? Because this becomes an exponential curve. The first day you're improving 1%, and then 1% and a little more, and then 1% and a little more, right? So the first 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, there's not going to be a huge difference, right? But in 365 days, you would improve 37x.
37x.
37x, not 300%, which would be like 3x, right? 37x in 1 year. And let's just accept that we cannot improve 1% every day, but we can improve 1%
Okay.
every week, right?
Can I stop you here? Please elaborate what is this 1%?
No, that's hard to say. It's a theoretical exercise, but what the exercise is saying is like if we always focus on getting a little better, not changing big things, but always doing something, learning something new, applying that in our lives, right? We have these small increments, and we're not even going to notice them short term. But long term, you're going to be a whole different person because you choose to learn, because you intentionally every day go looking for some knowledge, some inspiration, and you make steps to apply them to your life.
I mean, you know, this 37% hard to digest. I mean, my goodness, it's such a huge big number. Oh my goodness. It's
But that's
just
why I'm saying it's hard to improve 1% because what 1% of what? Like all of my learnings from all time. Like I've learned so much as a kid, as a grown up, through my jobs, through my experiences, right? I've lived many thousand days already. So it's unrealistic to get 1% better every day.
okay.
But we can always get a little better. And that exponential growth just is it's unimaginable.
Okay. So how do you read the pattern of somebody to decode the personality and crack the codes and then you rewire the brain? As you've done. I mean, I was going, I was going through your testimonial. Somebody, I mean, I really, it's really inspiring. let me admit, I mean, the work you are doing, it needs not only the appreciation, but also it's a tribute to yourself, to your own abilities. If someone is like the person in the video saying that you have changed his life, the prophet used to comfort this thing. This is prophetic. This is not a simple. This is not a lower level job. It's highest of the highest level job that you are rewiring the brains. How are you doing it, man?
So I'm going to say it first off, like I am not changing anybody's lives, right? They are changing their own lives. I love working with people and coaching them and helping them, but they're the ones who have to do the work. Like I'm nothing more than a guide. I can ask some good questions and point in the right direction, but you're going to have to go the path. But the steps that I use in my coaching, we started with, the first is awareness that something has to change, like you're not happy, you're not fulfilled. The second one is rediscovering who you actually are. And that's where we started. We spoke about Ikigai, we spoke about Dharma. Now that you know who you are, go out in the world and get inspiration. We've talked about 50 lunches. So have conversations with people, tell them who you are, and they will start connecting the dots for you. And you will get inspired. Okay, now okay, I want to be a guide, I could be a coach, right? So now you get that inspiration, how you can apply your true self in the world. The fourth step is not quitting like I did, not giving up everything, but start doing small experiments, right? For me, I like coaching. Try coaching. Coach somebody, see how it feels. Try finding a paying client, see how hard it is. So doing these small experiments to validate whether or not it's a good direction. Not with your brain, but with your body. Feel into it. Does this still feel right? If it doesn't, new hypothesis, go back a step, try something else. But if it does feel right, okay, cool, now it's time to commit. And that's when you need to change your identity or adapt your new identity, let go of your previous identity. So awareness, figure out who you are, inspiration, small experiments, and then draft a new narrative.
Oh my
That's it.
goodness! Like first you got to admit, you got to get out of the denial phase, and then you got rediscover through dharma, and then get some inspiration, exploration, and then is number 4 is experiences,
Testing.
experiments, and then you get the new narrative.
Yes.
That's your new, and you've done it for 5 times in your life.
Yeah. And it is important to embrace the new narrative because we tend to tell the old story. Like you asked me, who am I? It'd be very easy for me to tell a previous story because I've lived that for so long, right? But instead, I have to embrace that new identity. I am a teacher. I am a guide. I am not an entrepreneur, right? This is how I want to appear in the world. This is what I want to contribute with. And only when you dare to embrace that new identity, that's really who you are.
Wow. And can I, since you are a tech guy and you've been working in Google, so there is a book written by Slim Ismail, Exponential Organizations. No,
Okay.
sorry, Exponential Transformation.
Okay. Wow, that sounds interesting.
Exponential transformation, and I'm trying to get back to that 37%. Just to add value to the discussion. And that resonates with this admission or like getting out of the denial phase and rediscovering yourself, dharma and inspiration, and then don't give up, or like experimentation and new narrative. That's and in the language of abundance, this is called massive transformative purpose, MTP, massive transformative purpose. It has to be massive, huge, big. It has to be transformative. The what transforms, like Uber transformed the transportation. Like the internet transformed the world altogether. AI is transforming now.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, or Airbnb has transformed, the bit of housing need or so, this is transforming. And the purpose for sure, this is alignment to your inner actual original self. That what you deserve. I mean, what you are doing, you are trying to meet suffer with his own soul. Hey man, see yourself. I mean, I was talking to someone. I mean, he was all all distracted and things. He was, everybody's stuck somewhere. I said, man, come on, go back home, close the door, sit down, sit back, and meet yourself. No, talk to yourself. What you want, what exactly you want.
Hmm.
Once you find that, then everything is that's rest is all it was a sculpturist I mean sorry for the language, since English is my second language and it's too bad.
No
Sculpt
problem at all.
the one who creates the sculptures, the one who creates the what you call the statues.
A
It's called
sculptor.
a sculpture. Or he was asked how you build that beautiful the sculpture out of rock. He said, "Man, I don't do anything special. I just look at the rock and I see a beautiful lady in it, and I remove all irrelevant stuff." And that's what Ken is doing, in fact. Okay, now back to massive transformative purpose. So, massive transformative
I
purpose
have
is
had a
it?
curious. I had a question on that because you said massive transformative purpose, and transformative purpose I agree with, but I'm curious why massive. Why does it have to be big?
Yeah. Since I mean, I no, probably this could be a tunnel view, or there are 8 billion people on the face of Earth, and my belief is there are 8 billion perspective on the face of Earth. So every person is a perspective. So my perspective of since I'm learning from this abundance 360 people, I really admire them so much, just because they are trying to do better. They are trying to create a better world, and they are already like longevity is already there. Why it has to be massive? Just because it has to be for the 8 billion people. If it is like Uber for the 8 billion people, if it is Airbnb for the 8 billion people, if there is like any if it is a phone, it should be for the 8 billion people. It should not. It should be democratized. That's that democrat. There are 6 Ds that make something exponential. I mean, if you won't allow, then I can go for these. One is the 6 Ds for the exponential technologies. The technologies which are exponential or which make them, the massive. It requires it has to be uh, digitized. It should be digital. In the it should be converted into zeros and ones, since you're from Google. So this is your field. I mean, don't grill me on that. So anything that can be into can be converted into 0 1, and can be digitized, and that's why that can be copy, and that can be and anything that is deceptive, as you said, in the beginning phase. It's like 1 2 4 4 8 16 32 64. Look, I mean, you can't see the change, but boom, when it goes, 6 step after, oh my goodness, so that's how it goes up and up. And then there is dematerialized. It has to be like this phone. It has a television, it has a radio, it has telephone, it has a music system, it has GPS system, it has anything, you name it, you have it. So Whereas when there is TV in our childhood. Maybe you're younger. I mean, in my childhood, I would say it was a huge, big TV. My first TV in our home, it was we four used to, we four people, we used to displace it from one point to another point. Four, it required four. It was so huge, big, wooden body, a small screen, and then it was covered. So, and later it improved too. So I mean, and now so just think of the old telephone, the big ones, and then think of the GPS system. It used in wars, and so it a complete vehicle used to transport it from one point to another point. And there are a lot of others. They look at the music system. We were born with huge, big speakers and the big cassette player, and
No,
so
no, I get it. I get it.
so that is dematerialization. Okay, and one more is demonetization. Demonetize mean as so money, monetization, and opposite demonetization. Having a lot of features, but I mean, don't have to spend money for TV, don't have to spend money for GPS. So that is demonetization. So and then it comes the democratization. It has to be with everyone. So that makes it exponential. Technology is exponential. So that makes the things, the facilities that we enjoy now, they were used to be with someone who were like kind of emperors or very rich. If you allow me, I want to listen to this. There's a kind of religious obligation, and I want you to give me still time.
Yeah, wait.
Thank you. I thank you so much for let experiencing me this, and this gives me lots of energy.
Of
And
course, my pleasure.
yeah, thank you so much. Okay, back to you.
So we were talking about massive, and I questioned it because you said like it needs to be massive to make the world a better place. I just want to offer perspective. I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong, and maybe that doesn't even matter. But what if we just choose to see the world as good already?
Oh wow. Oh wow. That's abundance. That's tuning
Right.
into abundance. Yeah. But
Massive
how
for me almost comes from a mindset of scarcity. Massive is like we need to create something big. There's competition, and if
yeah.
you don't win. So the word massive in itself to me almost sounds like the opposite of abundance.
Okay. Okay, that's the perspective.
It's just a perspective, and there's no right
Yeah,
or
that's
wrong here.
one.
I thought about it when you mentioned
Yeah,
it.
I would love to give the perspective about massive and if about the comp. Yes, sure. Yes, I mean if you generally see things are into competition, like I mean look at the AI. These all, be it Open AI or be Grok or the Deep Seek or and these all are into competition. They all want to be massive. They want to be big. They all want to reach the sky. That's true in one context, but when it's abundance is even beyond that. The abundance is winning for everybody. There is no lose in abundance.
Mm,
It's like, I mean, we are playing such a game where everybody wins. Like, I mean, if you are into some business and everyone who is directly, indirectly, they are getting benefit out of it. Anyone who is putting the efforts, the amount of efforts or anything, so that gets proportionate. At times they don't. I mean, just because this world has its own design, and there's a huge big discussion if we discuss things. So I mean, I don't want to like, I mean, plunge you into that, but sure, when we can do that. But in abundance, it's like win-win for everybody, and it has to be massive. Abundance of food, abundance of water, abundance of transportation, abundance of connection, abundance. It has to be for 8 billion people, and if it is like scarce, which is already opposite of abundance, it is not about that there are people that one is winning out of two, or like out of 10 two are winning, or out of 100 10 are winning. No, it's winning is everybody. Like, I mean, if there is vaccine, vaccine invention is there. It was like Corona, we got this. It was for everyone. It was not one person. Yes, if it is for one or two people, that's not abundant. So that's the perspective. Yes, you're right. If you look in the eye through the eyes of competition, and focusing competition, there's people they want to go exponential in individual terms, that I want to be billionaire and trillionaire like Elon Musk is trillionaire, the world's first trillionaire is he. And if he thinks that only him should be the trillionaire, none else. So that massive is against abundance, as you that I really understand. I really respect that. But I mean, what if he thinks that everybody goes trillionaire? And he give them an ecosystem, and he get the code whatever he has cracked to everyone. Look, I have done this, you do this. That's what actually, I mean, he kept saying. And the your part of the world, why you people, I mean, I keep questioning why you people are so ahead of us. And here in our part of the world, we keep fighting for such a nonsense things. Look, I mean, why you and me are fighting? Just because I think my idea is better. Just because I think what I am wearing is better. This is best. Just because what I am using or whatever I am doing is best. I mean, I'm not giving a damn to what you're wearing, what you're liking, what you're. Why don't I respect? How the hell I can be a human being if I cannot respect a difference? Not respecting a difference, I mean, it takes you down where you're sitting on the chair of vice captain. The captain is God himself, and you're the vice captain. But if I'm not respecting, if like I'm not respecting, like not doing something wrong, like making some crime, committing some crime, or doing something wrong, is not doing something wrong with you. It is disrespecting my rank. It is disrespecting my status. It is disrespecting my soul and myself, and it is disrespecting this person whom God has made so superb. So yes, abundance. If it is only like a thought for individuals, for a group, limited group, which is already there, as you see in your part of the world, is very competitive. To that
Very.
extent, it is yes. But I mean, if someone is taking a moonshot for the entire humanity, I mean, I really believe that is abundance. Back to you.
I think I need to start wrapping up. Did you
Yeah,
have
do that. I
any?
mean, since it has gone long. I mean, it got over 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm sorry for eating your lunch tonight. So wrap up. I mean, get us. I mean, uh, how did we go about in you telling us about admit or like get out of the denial phase, you telling us to rediscover yourself through dharma and get some inspiration, go out, look at the round as you were in the camper van. So I mean, you've been you, like through entire Europe, you just rode through, and then give new start experimenting. That's where massive transformative purpose MTP comes, and, and then you get new narrative. That's the real when you see yourself. In fact, that's the new narrative means the original narrative that the creator has created for you. That's how you discover the creator. In fact, I would say that's not only meeting yourself, but meeting your creator. That code that he has written for you somewhere, and now you got it. So you got to go through this. This is amazing. Where did you get it from?
This is my invention. So this is through my own reinventions. I've been looking for patterns, like what's worked for me, what hasn't worked for me, and then try to create a process out of it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And okay, the now the final closing from your side about the whole session and message to the globe.
Message to the globe. Don't take yourself so seriously. Have fun, enjoy life, be vulnerable, have meaningful conversations, learn a little every day.
Okay, thank you. And now I would like to review the whole. I mean, be honest about the discussion and the things that came from my side.
I've had a great conversation. I really appreciate the time. I appreciate your curiosity. I appreciate your vulnerability and your eagerness to learn. I think it's been a great conversation.
Thank you so much. This was Ken from Spain, and right now you're in UAE or in Spain?
I'm in Spain. I'm from Norway originally, half
Yeah,
American,
originally
but I live in
American,
Spain because I love the
Nor-
weather.
yeah, Norwegian American, and
Yeah.
living in Spain. Oh my goodness! I mean, you're living there for the weather. Wow. So you're a romantic person then, huh? You're alive. I mean, you're a living person. There are
Yes,
people. I mean,
I've lived in 8 countries now.
oh wow. I mean, can you name all of them? I mean,
I was born in Norway.
yeah.
Did high school in
Income.
California with my uncle. Studied in Australia. Um,
Wow.
got my first professional job in Sweden. That was a trainee program, which took me to Latvia, Japan, and Denmark. Back to Sweden, and back to the US, and now I'm in Spain.
Oh,
That's
wow.
8.
I mean, you lived through North to South Pole. I mean, wow, you lived through across the continent. Wow, that's really amazing. So, when are we seeing next?
Let's see. Let's see. Oh,
Oh,
you're coming to my workshop on Sunday, aren't you?
sure, yes. Otherwise, you'll grill me more. Otherwise, in my next plan, in my next program. I was so scared of coming to your yeah, to your show. I mean, featuring you on my show.
How
I
has it been?
really,
Was it scary? Was it
oh,
dangerous?
no, 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 no. At this point in my age, in this point of time in my age, it's so amazing. Accepting the wrong, whatever. I really enjoy it. And where did it get from? Where I'm living, it's a garrison. I mean, there are old soldiers and from the military background people, and they're veteran there, and I also come from, since I've spent like more than 6 years into the military setup in Air Force, and we cracked so huge big jokes while we are working out. And earlier, people used to say these are crazy, these are crazy, but this is a left therapy. And the word I have started enjoying, I mean, if somebody was cracking joke on me, and I enjoyed it the most. The someone who can enjoy a joke on himself, like if I'm cracking joke on you and you're really really enjoying it, that's
Yeah.
the beginning of your maturity.
Don't take
Oh
life
my
so
goodness.
seriously.
Oh my
Have some
goodness.
fun.
That's great. I mean, so that's where I started accepting the reality. That was the point of time where I got out of the denial and I accepted the reality. That I believe accepting reality is another way of living happier life. So that's what I did. And so life is, awesome. This is good. If you're like, I mean, focusing on one thing which is wrong, that this pen is no, this is bad. I mean, come on, and look at the 8 billion people, the continents and beauty is wow. It's so amazing people. I mean, come on, we are sacrificing the entire globe for one nonsense stuff, or be it a person, a thing, or whatever. So the entire world does not deserve this to be ignored. And so love yourself and be vulnerable, as you said. Thank you so much, Ken, for creating such a powerful conversation and value on Abundance Show. Thank you so much for being there, for honoring my show. See you in
Thanks for
our
having me,
next.
Safar, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. See you soon in our next
Bye.
call, and see you on Sunday.